Oh my goodness. So this was meant to just be a fun little video on the base game heroes in Fortnite Save the World, but turns out there are about 61 heroes in here, and I made this one by hand, so if I missed any, I'm sorry. I didn't double check it, but I was pretty meticulous as I went along. This should be every base game soldier, ninja, outlander, constructor, and the expansion ones that you see in regular missions. So everything in the collection book section, everything you get from the collection book campaign, or at least the campaign rewards, and then buckshot actually comes from level 100 in the collection book, if you didn't know that. And then there are the expansion people, not shadow ops. To my knowledge, and everybody in chat who helped me remember, these are only available in the military llamas. If I'm wrong, so what? Demolicious Penny's pretty good. The rest of these are pretty whatever. So there you go for that. But the rest of these heroes are all essentially base game heroes. They're expansion, right? But they still show up in regular missions. You can get them as normally as just opening up an upgrade llama. So we're going to be going over those today. If you are thinking, Beast, haven't you already covered every hero in the game? Yes. Yes, I have. In fact, I even compiled all 4 of those into one video that I can't find at glancing right there. You go. One big hero tier list. If you don't want to click all of those videos separately, I'm going to link this one video down below if you're curious. But I have been shown that you guys have an interest in these more specialized views on the same topic, like ranking all the mythic heroes, which will also be linked down below. I didn't think I needed to make this video, still think it was a silly concept, but you guys seem to really enjoy it, and I can understand the value that while this is not a guide, I do have much more focused videos on heroes. Link to that down below where I show gameplay and I really get into the nit and gritty. This can be a nice overview if you're new to the game and you just want to know, hey, these are heroes I see every day, which ones are better than others? So this is going to be a general overview. There are a lot of heroes in here that cannot be compared. Pathfinder, for example, she buffs your pickaxe damage by 50%. That is an S tier ability. Truly, she is a fantastic outlander. But so is buffing your shotgun crit damage by 225% from Buckshot Raptor. I'm sorry, Walry, but this is my point. That's just 2 heroes that cannot be compared. So what I'm going to be ranking these based on is general usefulness. For example, Bulletstorm Jonesy, he buffs your damage in the support by 25%, ramping up 1% per shot. So you start at 0, ramp up to 25%. That is an S tier ability if used appropriately. In the support, that is one of the higher damaging support perks you can get in the game, but uncomparable to an outlander. So there you go. Now that all those disclaimers are out of the way, let's just get right into the fun stuff. So, Archetype Havoc, I'm putting him in A tier. He makes it so that when you shockwave, you run 40% faster for 8 seconds. Super useful in dungeons, or if you're using an outlander, or I'm sorry, a soldier build with shockwave, that can be good just to get around faster. Nothing insane, but yeah. Some of these ninjas and many of these characters are not the golden rarity, so some of these I'm going to mix up by visual, just looking at it. So I might get some of these wrong, but I believe this is Assassin Sarah. She buffs your, by the way, S is in no order, by the way. These are all good. That's all that matters. I'm sorry, Walry, but I have to do it that way. I might turn off that alert, by the way, because this is getting a little ridiculous. I do these on stream. If you guys want to check out the Twitch link down below, that is going to get a little spammy, so it is now disabled. I'm sorry, chat. So if you guys want to, join, Twitch link down below. I record these on stream. They're fun, but yeah. Assassin Sarah buffs your melee damage when you attack the same enemy multiple times. It can stack up to 90% of the lead. It's really, really powerful and super good. That's all I want to say. Base Kyle, he buffs your walls by 80% in the lead. It's a ton. Super useful. Very good constructor. And this is, again, I think this is Brawler Luna. If this is Brawler Luna and I don't, later correct it, for now, F tier, she buffs your Crescent Kick impact, I think, or damage, either or. It's garbage. And this one, I'm going to have to defer to my list because I have the thing right up here that was Brawler Luna. I do not remember at a glance who this is. So this is kind of my cheat sheet. I'm going to expand this out actually so I don't have to scroll on my side monitor. At a glance, can I find who this is? It's usually a bad sign. I've said this in past tier lists. Yes, Centurion Hawk. I think I always forget him every single time. It's like Warcry Radius. I'll put him in C because it's not a useless ability, but there are so many better options that you should pretty much never use him. On the other hand though, Colonel Wildcat, reducing Warcry cooldown is an A tier ability. I don't think it's S tier because she's not a commander, and Warcry isn't usually a make it or break it kind of thing. Like, if you don't have Warcry available 17% quicker, are you going to fail the mission? No, I don't think she's that useful, but she is not quite S tier useful, but she is A tier useful. The Commando Spitfire, insanely good. He buffs your minigun cooldown by like reducing it 66%. It's insane. Him in the lead plus let me actually cut ahead. This is Sergeant. No, that's Survivalist Jonesy. I'm looking for Sergeant Jonesy. Again, a lot of Jonesies look similar, and I'm not familiar with the icons we have available. So Sergeant Jonesy, I'm gonna put him in A tier. He buffs your minigun by 5 seconds. Him plus Commando Spitfire can make for a 5.5 second cooldown. I made a whole video on it. I might remember to link it down below, but I cannot link every single video associated with every single one of these heroes. My description would be a book. My channel, it's easy to find stuff. In fact, here, if you've got my channel bookmarked, which you won't need because I'll be right below your video, just search up minigun, and then boom, you got the 5 second loadout. It's super popular video. You've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, it's a thing. Super good hero. I do not remember what Krampus does. I think he makes it so that your shockwave goes there and back. Useful. I'll give it an A tier ability. He's great in support. Useful. I think this is Controller Harper. So Controller Harper basically makes it so your decoy cooldown is reduced. B tier ability. Some would argue it's A or S tier because you can corral enemies like crazy, but that's rarely a super necessary build. I find it like a B tier ability, but some might argue otherwise. Either way, it's just kind of a, in the overarching scope of the entire game, not the most useful ability in the world. Dark Vanguard, I always forget. Is she melee specifically, or is she hardware specifically? I don't use this hero often, so forgive me for forgetting. She is hardware heavy attack efficiency. So that is not something, it's like S tier when you need it, like if you're spamming surround pound, but like almost never used. I'll put her in B tier just because it's a useful ability when you need it, but not crazy often. Alabama's rating on Twitch. I appreciate everybody joining. We're making a tier list, so you guys can sit back and enjoy. The next ninja we've got here, if I'm not mistaken, is Deadly Blade Crash. Easy S tier. That is an insanely strong bonus. She basically makes it so that when you crit, it does a crazy amount of damage. It's a super useful amount in the lead. I don't know the exact percents. The point is you can look it up yourself and, you know what, screw it. I mean, instead of just sitting here talking, I might as well just show you. It's a really, really good ability in the lead because whenever you crit, which is quite often in a certain configuration, if you're using a melee and her in the lead, you should probably be running a crit build. If you're critting 38% of the time, and that's just ticking for way more damage, that is a useful amount. There you go. 87% of the damage dealt. It nearly doubles your damage when you crit, and that's crazy amount. That's a good bonus. And in support, she's used very often by yours truly. Highly recommended S tier hero for sure. I don't remember who this hero is at a glance. Deadly Star Scorpion. Yeah, I think that's Affliction from Throwing Stars. A tier, I guess. Maybe B tier, because Throwing Stars are really strong, but you don't always want to use him in support, but he's going to help you regardless. So he's going to help you if you have him. So I'll put him in A tier just alongside Dimmock. She reduces the cooldowns for smoke bombs. This would be S tier if smoke bomb is stronger, but I think A tier is a perfectly good ability. I will say Dragon Slash is strong enough to put Dragon Scorch in S tier. He's insanely strong, super useful. He has smoke bomb, throwing star, Dragon Slash, very strong hero through pretty much every zone. Not exactly the 164 players. He doesn't quite make it to the end there, but I've known people who run through Ventures and use him the entire time. If the Ventures modifier is buffing ability damage, he is extremely useful. Thank you for following, Zero. So Electro Pulse Penny makes it so that your base basically your base does damage to enemies that attack it. That is an S tier concept, but it's based on base damage, which is not that does not scale to the end game as well. It's really good for like AFKing V-Bucks and getting some extra damage. I think it's B tier damage output, but an S tier concept. I could be wrong, but I don't use her for much other than just filling out my squad when I'm not really thinking about much. So yeah, Energy Thief makes it so that melee damage can give you energy. I think it's melee kills or energy. I'm not sure exactly. Or no, is she Crescent Kick? Energy Thief Mari. Let me go double check that because I could be wrong and it would drastically change what we're talking about here. Energy Thief might be expansion. I don't always defer to Energy Thief. What do we got here? Is that Crescent Kick? Oh, it is. Yes. Okay, that's easy F tier. Crescent Kick is garbage. Anything associated is usually the bottom. I'm thinking of not Anti-Cuddle Sarah. Oh, who am I thinking of, chat? Please help me. You guys can do my thinking while I move on with the tier list. Enforcer Grizzly, I think just gives you 4 extra seconds of Teddy. Super useful. A tier. It's the same deal as Sergeant Jonesy. Same concept, just extends a really good ability. Fleetfoot Ken. I used to put Fleetfoot Ken in like A or S tier, but unfortunately, they added Tactical Sprint since I last recorded one of these tier lists, and you can get around the map really easily now. He's not exactly... I'll still put him in A tier. but he's not nearly as necessary as he used to be, because you can tactical sprint, you can slide when you're done with that, you can mantle over stuff. 12.5% in support isn't the most. That does stack with the sprinting, but it's not 100% necessary. Forged Fate is the one that confused me with Vanguard earlier. She makes it, I believe, sword heavy attack. Is it sword or overarching? Because again, these are not heroes I use incredibly often. That's usually a bad sign when we're getting into the fun stuff, but let me double check this. Sword heavy attack efficiency. So because swords are a bit stronger, I can consider her higher B tier, but it barely matters. Sword heavy attack, I'm only thinking of like lunging with the, lunging with the Spectral Blade is the only thing that comes to mind. It's not usually. Anti-Cuddle Sarah is, I think, what I was thinking about earlier. That might have even been what I said, instead of Energy Thief, but either way. Yeah, sword heavy attack, spamming that is rarely super useful, but it's nice. Guardian Bull and Tank Penny are kind of one of the same, because I think Guardian Bull is crit rating, 17% crit rating for hardware, and she's 17% damage, something like that. Thank you for following, Princess. And these abilities are really, really good for your hardware when you're running Storm King, but not always that great. I'll put them both in A tier just because of Storm King and hardware for that circumstance. And if you are running hardware in general, which isn't the worst thing you can do, it's not the strongest, but it's not the worst way to spend an evening. These would be great heroes for that. Gunblazer as S tier doesn't get as much recognition in my builds. I don't like the fact, let me explain. All right, let me back up. He gives you a monstrous bonus. I'm accidentally gonna slot something, I swear. Let me go find him. Oh, actually, I think he is Scavenger. Yeah, Gunblazer South, he gives you a monstrous 105% damage bonus. That's off your base damage, and that is only for 4 seconds, and that's the annoying part. Phase shift, it requires you to have phase shift available, use it in battle, move your position to where you're adjusting your aim and trying to hit a target, but it gives you a crazy damage bonus. And 35% in support is crazy. Remember when I said 25 was good? 35% is loads. But you only get it for 4 seconds, and it requires a phase shift. It's a very jerky loadout, constantly going around the map, and you're adjusting your aim just to keep up with it, and it's only for 4 seconds. And ladies, you can agree with me here. 4 seconds is not that much to work with. So it's an S tier ability. I will leave it there where it is, especially because Chaos Agent exists, and if you're reloading with those phase shifts, it's a fantastic combo, but I find him difficult to use. So there you go. I think Harvester Sarah is like a Scythe hero. I'll put her in B tier. Useful when you need her, but I'm not going to elaborate much. Heavy Base, similar situation. He is really good for charging up extra damage, and then he explodes that damage and hurts the enemies. I don't think it's super useful. Some Constructor mains might argue with me, but I'll put him in B tier because there are some crazy good Constructor options, and yeah, I think he's not one of the top picks. Hot Fixer Hazard lets you heal stuff faster. Again, honestly, maybe D tier. Again, there are a lot of really great Constructor options like Base Kyle and Power Base Nox, which can honestly just go in S tier. I'll explain in a second, where if those heroes are intact and you're trapping properly, healing builds should never be a requirement. And if you're prepping before the mission, you don't need to repair them faster. Oh, they haven't taken damage yet. But my point is, he repairs faster, which is not that vital of an ability. Like, it's a good concept, but there are a lot of really better options. And Power Base makes your builds heal like 11% every 4 seconds or 10 seconds. Super good hero. Him and Base Kyle should always be paired. If one's in the lead, the other should be in support. Unless you have team synergy where 2 people are running base, maybe you can be more clever. But yeah, Light Show S tier. Oh wait, it doesn't stack with mag size. I'm gonna put him in C tier out of spite. He increases your mag size by 30%. I'm a hater, and this is going to require more math than is appropriate for a tier list video, so I'm just going to say this. I'm gonna wet your palate by saying he is not that good. 30% is not truly 30% because it doesn't stack with mag size perks. The easiest way to explain this is picture a mag size weapon like an LMG, where you have a 100 base mag size. If you have 4 mag size perks like is possible with the Mercury LMG, you can have a 400 round magazine. He will increase it to 430, which is not that much. Scale that down to an SMG with like 35 bullets. He is not that useful. However, a hero exists in the game. This is available when I'm recording, but by the time this video goes out, I have so many scheduled right now that he might be gone by now. Stars and Stripes Jonesy is a hero that increases your assault and recovery, where you don't necessarily shoot your shot. I'm going to skip all the math and get to the chase. He increases your mag size by 31.7% on average, and that stacks on top of the mag size. So he is just a wildly better option, and because of the fact that he doesn't behave with mag size perks, he buffs your base magazine size, does not, it just ignores all your perks. I feel like it's C tier, but if you're new to the game, he's great. Throw him in your support, whatever. Right next to Fleetfoot Ken. I'll put him in A tier and stop being petty, but yeah. Anyway, Machinist, S tier if you're doing endurance. F tier if you have your survivor squad sorted. So, Machinist Harper increases trap durability. Any endurance runner making this tier list puts her in S tier easy, because I'm pretty sure she's required for Twine AFK. Somebody in chat can correct me. But I have never needed her in regular missions, so I'll be amicable with you endurance runners and put her in B tier, but anybody who's got even a couple trap durability set bonuses active in your squads is gonna enjoy her. Archer mentions he uses her in Ventures. That's good to note. You do not get your set bonuses in Ventures, so your survivors won't matter at all. That's where B tier makes her a little bit more appropriate, but I'll give you that. Might as well get more out of your traps. It's Ventures after all. You don't want to farm any more than you have to. I don't know who we got here. Marathon Hype. Oh yeah, Bull Rush doesn't matter. F tier. I'm not going to elaborate. Master Bull Rush is not that useful. Grenade range. C tier. If you're running grenades, it's good, but grenades aren't that strong. They did a whole update buffing grenades, and it's still not, still, yeah. What do we got here? Mega Base Kyle. I'll put him in S tier. Not as useful as the other constructors. He just makes the base one tile out more in every direction, which matters, by the way. And then 3 in the lead, which is huge. It's amazing. 1 and 3 doesn't sound like that much, but remember, you got a radius to deal with. So that one extra tile, if you got an elaborate trap tunnel or a lot of floors, that could affect tens, I don't know the exact numbers, but tens of different tiles. It matters. It's a good bonus, makes your base go longer, and ladies, you know what I mean, going longer is typically. Overtaker Hero is a hero that basically reduces your kunai cooldown when you get a kill. So if you run him in the lead and you get 2 kills with your kunai, it's basically instant if you have happy holidays. Really good hero for that, but kunai is pretty because of kunai being as strong as it is. I think B tier is fair, but your mileage may vary. Again, Phase Scout. She only gives you 1 extra charge of phase shift, but that is more useful than you might think. In loadouts where you are perhaps spamming phase shift a lot, maybe you're pairing with Gunblazer Southie, maybe you are maybe you're running it with like Chaos Agent, she can be extremely useful. That 1 extra charge, it really matters. It really matters, but it's yeah. It depends on your loadout, so there you go. Iza, I think she increases Plasma Pulse damage. Plasma Pulse, you can like drop it on the head of a smasher or something, and it can be really useful for that case, but rarely is it super useful. She might be energy, either way. Let me just go double check. I'm pretty sure she's damage. It's not a super important ability, and that's kind of why I'm going to put her so low, because yeah, 30% to, your Plasma Pulse is nice and all, but it's not usually something that's going to come up. And there we go, Plasma Specialist. It is damaged by 30%, right? That's what I thought. So I still think it's D tier because of Plasma Pulse, but it could be higher depending on your use case. Ranger Deadeye, right? I believe this is Ranger Deadeye. The picture is not, yeah, easy S tier. He is 50% damage to SMGs and pistols. SMGs are very strong. He has Phase Shift, Teddy. He has Seismic Smash. I supercharged him because he's just super useful. He has that Outlander Punch, so you can farm while running a DPS loadout. Insanely good hero. Very strong. And highly recommended. Let's continue on. This is Recon Scout Eagle Eye. She increases your speed when phase shifting. Again, same as Phase Scout. The 2 of these should be paired almost every time. Rescue Trooper Ramirez, easy S tier, because 50% damage to SMGs and assault rifles. Great base game hero. She literally is the first hero you start out with. I think everybody has at least a green copy of her by default. Very strong when they start you off on the right foot. I don't know who I'm looking at here. Bottom left. I am either blind or just completely lost it right now. I don't know who we're looking at. It's not Marathon. I can't find her. Oh no. Sentinel Hype. What does Sentinel Hype even do? Oh god. This is, like I said, this is a bad omen. When I don't know at a glance what that ability is, it's always bad. Yeah, Decoy Duration. Yeah. I'll put it with Controller Harper because they're kind of to combine. Decoys are rarely super useful, but I just haven't seen them usable in so long. Remember Survive the Horde? That was That was when you needed decoys. Shock Specialist increases your shock tower damage by 33%. Pretty good. B tier. Shock towers aren't necessarily used for damage so much as they're used for like stunning a whole crowd of enemies or like softening them up for bigger traps or bigger damage. But he's a good hero to have. Shock Trooper reduces shockwave cooldown. That's more useful than it might sound. I'll put him in C tier. Shockwave isn't anything you really want to spec into too much, but you know, it is what it is. Shock Blaster, I don't even remember. That's almost always... I think that's an extra, like, half second of Shockwave. Now we're getting into an area, again, where these are heroes that do not come up often, I do not think about often, and that's almost always a bad time. So Shock, is she a base game? I'm thinking if she's a base game or Shock Blaster Buzz. What do we got going on here? Shock Tower Impact. Yeah, Shock Tower Impact is already insane. It's not worth a perk. It's already going to stun pretty much whatever you're attacking, and you're good. Shrapnel Headhunter, I'll put it right next to Buckshot. 50% shotgun damage, insanely good. I supercharged her a long time ago, and very, very good. Was Shock Tower AC good back in the day? No, that was actually... Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Oh, come on. Striker AC. I knew I had him in the list, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Striker AC used to have a crazy long punch, the best for farming. But now it's like... Impact or something, it's useless. F tier. It's not worth worrying about in my opinion, unfortunately. Skirmisher Edge. Oh, is this? I think it's Throwing Star something. Oh no, is it Throwing Star energy cost? I hate forgetting heroes. I want to just know everything off the top of my head, but in reality this is a big game with a lot going on, and Throwing Star energy cost is not at the forefront of my brain. I'll put him in like C tier because Throwing Stars can be useful sometimes, talked about it earlier, but energy cost isn't a big deal. Banshee, huge perk. Special Forces is shared by a few heroes. You might have a couple of the Founders heroes, the chick and the guy Jonesy and Ramirez, I think. Yeah, 25.5% weapon damage bonus, not ranged, weapon damage straight up. So we use her in the Storm King, you're used to a lot. And she gives you 25.5% movement speed. So everybody's moving quicker, doing more damage. Great perk, great perk. Warcry, super strong. Highly recommend using. Stonefoot is Crescent Kick. We're just going to ignore that. Ted Shot requires headshots to activate stuff. It's not a huge bonus. I'm going easy mode. Swordmaster Ken. S tier. Seriously. He gives you like a 75% damage bonus to swords when you're in Shadow Stance. Super good ability. Probably one of your best commanders for ninjas in the game if you're trying to do sword damage. Who is this? Anti-Cuddle, right? I don't know who I'm looking at again. I am... This keeps happening. I don't recognize... Yes, Shuriken Master Sarah. Is she... One extra shuriken. I don't want to get this wrong, but I don't like having to look this up. Is it one extra? That's my vote. One extra. Okay. I just wanted to be sure. Same as yeah, Throwing Star is Throwing Star. Support Specialist Hawk, I think, is Warcry Radius, but that's the same as the other one. I think it's like energy cost for Warcry. Either way, F tier. You pretty much never need it. Survivalist. I hate Survivalist so much. This perk is useless in the 160s. If you're using Blast from the Past, he is garbage. Really, really bad. But passive healing from just getting kills in general is so useful that his overall usefulness puts him in A tier, but the sheer lack of health you get is like C tier. He is so bad. Yeah, I know he's a good early game healer. He is. If you're watching this video and you're new to the game, like power level 60 or less, 90 or less, Survivalist might be good, but you've got coconuts are better, you've got campfires are cheap to craft and way more effective, you got healing pads, which are very expensive, I get it. But you've got like totally rocking out activates. You might have had that perk already. You got Dennis, who drops the burgers on the ground rarely. Not better than Survivalist, don't think, but I don't know. There are just some much better late game options to stay alive. I'll put him in B tier, but yeah. Quinn, she buffs Teddy damage. That's just great. Teddies are not end game strong, but solid overall. So I'll put her in there. Urban Assault, I'm gonna put her in C tier. She buffs your headshot damage, I think, and fire rate when you get headshots. Maybe it's just damage. Shooting faster isn't always better. It's usually worse, actually, because you're not really doing more damage. You're just emptying your mag faster. So your damage output is good, but it just drains your mag and you're reloading more often. It's not real damage, it's just shooting faster, which isn't always good. So C tier, I think that's fair. Trailblaster, I don't know who he is, and that is that's a bad sign. Trailblaster AC, what do we got going on here? Is he base game? We got Quinn, that's not who I'm looking for. Is he gonna be Storm Zone? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Shock tower duration by half a second. Yeah, that's the one that F tier, easy. Shock tower, half a second is like one more zap. Rarely does that ever matter. Ventura makes it so that Teddy does more damage with range. It's good. It's a solid pick overall. I'm just going to leave it there. We got 2 more heroes that I don't recognize, and it's bugging me. We got the blue collar guy. Is that who I think it is? I don't actually. Is that Vanguard? I think it is. Vanguard Southie. He, I think, makes it so that your seismic smash cooldown is reduced. That's actually really good. It's A tier. If you think he shouldn't be, go try it. Put him in the lead and spam seismic smash with outlanders. It does more damage than you might think. It's really good for crowd clearing, and he's fun. So, honestly, a solid pick. It increases the Teddy range? Does it really? Valkyrie increases your seismic smash impact or damage. I don't remember, but F tier is where she belongs because seismic smash is not what I'm talking about. The anti-material charge when you punch with the outlander. That's what I'm talking about. It's not something you ever want to invest in because it doesn't do that much. All right. Wow. This was supposed to be a quick tier list, but definitely a fun one. I think this will be useful for new players, so hopefully you gleaned some info from this that you could take with you. I'm sure I'm going to forget to link many of the videos I referenced because I already can't think of most of them, but yeah. Check me out on Twitch where I record these. You know, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want. I make these fairly regularly. I just have fun sometimes, and this is one of them. I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy.